Welcome back to Themed Journals. My name is April. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is tell you what I did, and I'll show you on one I haven't sewn up. Okay, so I'm making dust jacket journals. What I did was I took my sewing machine and I did an over the edge zigzag stitch all the way around here. Then I put these flaps together, and then I started at the top corner, went around, zigzag down here and down here, and I did it on both flaps. Okay, so that's what I did. Now, here's the final results. You can see that now the edge of the book that would have been over the actual book cover itself is now flat on this side. And it's got a nice pocket on both sides. So you can, do different ones like I did. I don't even know whose books I've torn apart over the years. I've been doing this for 4 years. And so now we've got all these dust jackets that we need to do something with. Okay, I'm going to leave these flat for now until I start sewing the signatures in. I think all of these can handle at least 2 signatures apiece. We'll see. Now this one, I think, is different. Yeah, we're going to have to do customized paper in here. All right. Okay, so let's take one and look at the inside. So what we have to do now is cover this up with something. I'm thinking extra paper. I have odds and ends of different types of paper over here. Here we go. Now, why is this giving me the devil? All right. Hang on. Let me put you guys on hold while I go get this paper. Okay, I'm back. And I did the pause button right this time. So I thought maybe I could use some weird 12 by 12 papers in here. And this is super thin, although this one is thicker. This paper is thicker, I think. Let me see. Yep, thicker paper. I got it originally just for this paper. That was it. So let's go flipping through here and see what we've got. We've got all right, I'm sort of leaning towards this paper, maybe for the John Grissom one. I'll keep my finger here and we'll see what else we've got. Looks like wallpaper. Oh, this wouldn't be so bad either. Let's see. Which one do I like more? This one or that one? I like this one better, so let's see what else we've got. Well, you know what would be easier for me to do is just look here. All right, let's see if this is, yep, there's the paper. There's that paper. Okay, the writing paper one, this particular thing. Now we got to be very careful because this is directional paper. So, all right. We're going to measure, not measure. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to. All right, there. Now I want it exactly even with the edge. And then All right, there's where the other mark will go. And we'll get out our handy dandy paper cutting guillotine. Now we've got our paper over there. Let's just double check this one and make sure it's perfect. All right. So we need to make sure that this goes on the right side, or correct side. Oops, wrong one. All right, so I want a sage green. Let's see here. We've got this one. We've got rustic wilderness. Peeled paint might do it. All right. Okay. Now, let's see here. Let's see what the... I'm going to try rustic wilderness, I'm thinking. Okay. All right, that is too light. It's dark enough. All right, let's try this one then. Library. I always go back to library green because it's always the green that looks the greenest. Oh yeah, there we go. It's coming up nicely now. I've had this in my mind to do dust-covered journals for a long time. Now, here is the thing. You cannot copy the dust jackets. You may not reproduce them, but you can use the original because you're using something that is an original, so you can use it. All right, that looks really good. All right, now, since I've got it in the right writing in the correct direction so I don't lose my space. No, I'm not making a pocket out of this mess. So there's no copyright violations going on here, just so you know. All right. That looks really nice. All right, let's just move it quickly into place where I want it. There we go. And then we're going to give it a little rounding here and a little rounding here. And there we go. There's our spine. Now, okay. I just had a little string I had to cut off real quick. I think what we're going to do is try to use up all of my very thin, or use up this particular journal or paper. Okay, so the next one we're going to look for is this one. And I think maybe some, let's see, maybe this one has a bird on it, or this one. All right. Oh, that's really pretty too, isn't it? But not quite the color scheme we want. I may have used all the ones up with the butterflies. Although I'm leaning towards this. This is really pretty. Okay, so I already looked on that earlier. So I thought I was leaning towards the other one, but guess not. Oh, look at that. We got two of these. Yes, I flew through my Edith Holden books a while back. Like my Mother's Day journals that I've never sold any of. Aha. Okay, got two of these because I got two Edith Holden journals that we're going to do up. All right, so let's put this one to the side. Very nice. Very excited about this one. Yep, okay. Now, the key for this one is to get this bird into this corner, because that's definitely the one we want to use. Although I don't want to lose this lady's head either. So we are going to cut here. And we're going to cut here, and then we're going to look for the seam again. There. All right. And then we're going to cut here. And we're going to cut, yeah, here. All right. Before we start gluing this, why don't we do this so that we know exactly where we need to cut on this one. There. I'm doing this direction first because I need to get closer to my mark here, and that this cut will allow me to do that. Oops, shoot, it's a little shorter now on this side. So what we have to do is no, looks like it's okay. All right. There's my mark. Downstroke. All right. Okay, now where's my two big pieces? There we go. And I'm thinking I should keep this down here. All right. Picked raspberry is what we're going to use for this one. Unfortunately, I don't have enough room to keep it down here, so I guess I'm going to have to put it up and take it down every time. At least we have two books I'm going to use the same color on, so that's nice. Okay, picked raspberry. I think it's this one. Yup. No, my cord just unraveled. I have a hook that keeps two of my cords rolled up on it so it doesn't drag on the floor, because I just don't have room for it to muck about with me right now. Oh, that's all right. All right. Oh, that looks so nice. I don't understand it. Some of these are juicier than others. Maybe it's because I haven't used it as much as the other colors. I don't know. But I know most journal making people on YouTube only use 4 colors, if that. 1 or 2. I think the YouTuber that uses more colors than anybody else other than me is Pam at the Paper Outpost. She uses a lot of different colors and makes her journals stand out, I think. Not that just using vintage is a bad thing. Vintage photo is a bad thing. Some people like vintage and that's all they do. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just like color. Okay, so put that over there. Double check, make sure we're spot on here. Looks like I need to take just a hair off of this side. Let's see if this one's any better. Or they both may need it. Yeah, they both need it. Okay, so I can see what's going on better. Let's turn it to this side. Now let's see. Maybe right here. Now let's see if we can lop both of these off at the same time. Or not. Okay, I'm not saving that. Just not going to do it. And we're going to have to redo this edge once we concur that this is the proper size we need. All right. All right, let's see what we got. All right. All right, then we're going to give it a little squish this way, just a little, to remind it where the seam is for the book. All right. Yeah, it looks like I need to do a little bit of upkeep on this edge. Needs a little bit more ink because I cut off that edge a little bit. And I cut off this edge too. So we need to just give it a little boost, I think. All right, there we go. Very lovely. Okay, put the lid on, April. Put the lid on. All right, now we get to choose some more. This is our next one. All right, I think maybe this couch and chair piece. Okay, let's just do it on this side so I can see the marks a little bit better here. All right. This doesn't look right. Oh, but it is. Okay. This is a smaller book, I think, than the last couple of ones we've done. That's all right. Okay, I think we can use pickled raspberry on this one for sure. Didn't think I get to use pickled raspberry twice for 3 different inkings. Okay, that was a little bit too close on the edge there. All right, so we need a little fold here, and we need a little fold here. All right, and we've got another one. All right, so I need a more masculine one for this one, I'm thinking. It's brown. Oh, maybe this one. Oh, that's not really masculine now, is it? Okay. Well, this isn't too bad. Not masculine per se, but not so feminine either. Maybe I'll do this green. Let me keep my hand here so I don't have to. No. Oh, maybe what we can do is this one again. Well, oh, excuse me. All right. Let's see if that looks right, feels right. All right. Right. And we need to turn this way. I think we'll go back to using the library green on this one. Oh. So let's put the lid on, April. So, you know, these are really simple to do. As you can see, they go quick. Oh, that's sage. I forgot I had sage. All right, let's... Oh, peeled paint. Let's try this peeled paint. I can't find my other one. I don't know where it is. All right. I like peeled paint too. Let's see what it does. Yeah, I like the contrast. I think sage would have worked really well on this too, but I've got to dig that one out of my side drawer. So I have it. It's on a bigger. All right, let's see how this looks. All right. Okay, I'm going to try taking just a little edge off of this one because, yeah. Okay, I need to do this edge again. It looks like I didn't do this edge either. let's try this again. All right. Here is the correct side, so we need to make sure that when I flip it again, I flip it left to right, not turning it clockwise or stuff like that. All right, let's put the lid back on. Now, we're gonna leave a little bit of white on each side, so it looks like we have a little there. Very nice. All right. And I won't need that one. Let's put this one back. Maybe that one, or orangey. Maybe let's look at that one. That one might be a good one for this one. The Great Circle. Now, this is sort of pinkish. Actually, this green one might be a good one. The flowers. See, that's pink, not orange. All right, let's see here. So excited to be able to use some of my, no, we want this to be on this side. We want the flowers. Yep. All right. Very excited to be able to use some of my paper. That I bought for my butterfly project and used up all the butterfly paper in, and then I'm like, what am I going to do with this now? So that makes me feel good. And then, let's see, did I mark this one? Yes, I marked this one. Oops, don't get it crooked, April. Well, I hope all is well in your world. If you haven't checked out my book, the link is in the description under promotions. I will get a little royalty off of it. It's free on Kindle Unlimited, so if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read it for free. Very excited to release it to, you know, Kindle Patreons for free. Very exciting. All right, look at this mess. All right. Okay. Oh, this looks super pretty. Except now I've got a wonky edge because I didn't cut it right. Of course I do. All right. this edge. All right, let's see what this looks like now. Much better. All right. All right. Yep. Now, let's see what we got in here. Okay, see, I've got little strips of paper here. I think we're going to go with, oh, that's very pretty. All right, let's go with this one. That one's pretty too. All right. All right. There we go. We're going to put that right there, and then that'll even up the bottom. All right, now let's put the lid on April. It's burbling over. Ugh, I don't know how to make that stop burbling. It drives me cuckoo. All right, let's give it a soft rub here. Now, I am not going to be covering the front of the dust jackets because I want the dust jackets to sing for themselves. But we will be putting on other stuff. All right, this is black. What will look good with black? Not anything looks good with black. Not quite. I'm thinking this one. All right. Cutting off some thread here. All right, now I will put it on this side so I can see my marks a little bit better. There we go. And oops, not the one we wanted. It's the mark right here that we want. Okay. Now, I'm not going to be making any what do you call it, with these, I'm not going to be making any master boards with these scraps. I'm going to be keeping these and using them either for pockets or something like that in these journals, or I'll just keep it for a different project. I have a pretty stationary folder that I can tuck them into, so it's not a big deal. All right, now, what color should we pick for our ink? All right, let's see here. Let's get those up. Barn Door, or maybe Monarch. No. Barn Door or Fired Brick, I'm thinking we're going to go with this time. Let's see. Yeah, I think Fired Brick is a little darker than Barn Door. Yeah. Okay. Now, this might be Monarch Orange. Spice Marmalade. Okay. Let's put this one back here since these seem to be wanting to this is Monarch Butterfly. Barn Door. Nope. I need Fired Brick. All right, let's see. This one might be Fired Brick. Yep, it is. Yeah, that looks like a good color for this project. So I did get almost all of my master boards and or franking paper sewed. There was one where I didn't have very many leftovers. I ran out of leftovers, so that one did not get sewn up. So anyway. Yep, I'm chasing this all over the desktop, aren't I? Oh boy, okay. All right. You know what these papers remind me of is in the old-timey books, they would put beautiful paper on the interior of the books. They don't do that anymore. They just use plain paper because it's cheaper. But they used to make the interior page really pretty. And that's what this reminds me of. All right. All right, let's flip this over. All right, let's see here. Oops, let's move that over just a skosh because I'm trying to glue my flap down. That's not good. All right, now let's see what we got on this side because, aha, I knew it. Giving me the devil on this side. Okay, all right, see this? Need another little, oopsie, wrong drawer. All right, let's see what we got. Ooh, I like this one. All right. here we go. Right, there we go. Let's mush the cover down just to crease it so we know where the spine is. There we go. Now we got the spine. And we got to put on the lid. All right, let me check and see where we are time-wise. And I may have to finish the last 3 offline. Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you for joining me on today's Themed Journal journey. Please like, share, subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. I'll show you the, this one I didn't have enough, so that didn't get done. But I left this as masterboard with 1 through here because of the lace. The lace was coming up, so I sewed that down. The rest of it I'm going to leave as masterboard. I just sewed around the outside, leaving the rest as masterboard. Then I made these into franken paper. So actually we got cute little covers we could do. Yep. So maybe we'll come back to the cat journals and just do a miscellaneous small one. We'll see. And then I have the same franken paper for the 2 ones I had for the dog journal. So anyway, that's that. Thank you for joining me on today's Themed Journal journey. Please like, share, subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. Hit that notification bell, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.